Hey, welcome to our channel where we explore the big issues of life and faith in a kind of fun way. This video we're going to be talking about how you tell if you need something or you want something. Through some of my animation skills that you'll get to see later on, we'll meet two of our friends who really know what it takes when you're deciding whether you need something or want something, and we're going to give you an extra tip on how you can solve the whole thing at the end. Hey! It is great to be with you. Welcome to our channel, our safe space to explore the big issues of life and faith, where we love to have a little bit of fun.
We do.
And as I said, we've got some animation stuff coming up in a little bit. I'm going to answer that question of our needs and wants. But first, we've got some people to say hi to.
So on Insta, Olivia, you know who you are. Olivia has liked loads and loads of our posts and just seems to have gone through and thought, oh, this is so cool. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at safespace_Southport.
Go
and
check
then
that out.
You might get a shout out.
Also, we will announce the very first commenter of our previous video was the incredible Elliot. Well done, Elliot.
Good job, Elliot.
And also, Toby joined us on the comments second there. We're going to start announcing our first and second commenters. So if you're watching this, shove your name in that comment because you will get a shout out. And we might even make it into a competition.
Whoa.
Maybe the most shout outs for first commenters could, win something. We'll see what that might be when we've thought about that properly. But also, we had our rooted question last time.
Yes.
We have our rooted pack of cards with our questions from Scripture Union, which are really great. They help you get thinking.
Yeah.
And our question from last week was, do you make the most of the time you have each day? What I'd like you to do is answer that on a scale of 0 to 10 and put your answer in the comments. Do you make the most of the time you have each day? If you think you absolutely, yes, definitely make the most of each time you have every day, that's a 10. That's a 10, Hettie.
It's 10.
But what's 0?
Absolutely not.
No, do not make the most
Don't do nothing.
of any time. Just sit around,
Yeah.
snoring,
Yeah.
even though I'm awake.
We don't do that.
We don't.
No.
We're going to ask another question next time from our pack of cards, and that one for you to get thinking about before then is, what do you love about where you live? Have a think about that for us. Great. Keep watching though, because our animations are coming up. Because I'm about to head into town.
Okay.
I'm going to head into town, Hettie.
Shopping to do.
And I've got some shopping to do. I'm going to have a bit of a word with two people I've gotten to know quite well.
Okay.
They really know what it takes when you're trying to decide if you need something or you want something.
Oh.
Okay, so I am here on Chapel Street. It's Tuesday the 16th of June and shops have just opened. So me and my animated friends here have been wandering and going through the shops and standing in some socially distanced queues and all that kind of stuff. And we've picked out a few items that we're going to have a little bit of a talk about. Because this, my good friend here, is Needy Nigel.
Hi.
And this, my good friend here, is Wanty Wendy.
Hello.
And Needy Nigel and Wanty Wendy are going to help us decide whether we actually need these items or whether we just want them, whether they're just a little bit of a luxury. So, our first item is a Liverpool kit t-shirt. So, what do you think, Needy Nigel?
Oh, I definitely need it. Definitely need it. Like, that's my team. And, I've got to support them. And I need to wear my shirt when I'm sitting at home watching the games, even though I can't go and see it in person,
Fair enough. Anything to add, Wanty Wendy?
Oh, you don't need that. You want that. You've got loads and loads and loads of clothes at home, I'm sure. Like, fair play, if you didn't have any clothes and they'd all been stolen, then yeah, maybe you would need it. But if you've got loads of t-shirts, why do you need another one? You don't.
Yeah, but if I was a footballer, I would need it because I'd get like a ban or a red card if I ran around without a football shirt on.
That's a very fair point, actually. So, I think our conclusion on this one is that you don't necessarily need your t-shirt for your football kit, but maybe, you know, if you'd ran out of clothes at home, you could get a much cheaper t-shirt. However, if you were a footballer, then you probably do need to be wearing your uniform in order to do your job. Okay, so that is our football kit. What else did we get? We have a phone. Oh, well, what do we think? Wanty Wendy?
Nah, don't need a phone, especially at the moment. I'm at home all the time, just chilling. Like, what do I need a phone for? I don't need to meet up with anyone. And anyway, it's not essential, is it? Let's be honest.
Need you, Nigel?
Oh, well, I think we need it. Like, we need it because, you know, we are at home a lot and we need to speak to people, or else we'll just be like, ah! But also, like for my job, I need a phone to call people. If I don't have a phone to do my job, then I don't have money. And if I don't have money, then I can't have food and, you know, all that. So I think we definitely need it.
Anything to add, Wanty Wendy?
Well, I get you there. Like, maybe some people do need it, and it is good for safety, and it's good for communication. We don't need the best one, though, necessarily. Maybe that's the key.
Fair point. Yeah, so some people might need that in order to do their job and have all the necessities to stay alive. But yeah, do you need the best phone? I don't know. Okay, and we have a can of full-fat Coke. Ooh, full-fat Coke. What do we think, Wanty Wendy?
Well, I don't think we need that, do we?
I don't know.
Like, there's loads of different ones you could get. It doesn't have to be a Coke, it could be something else. But also, you don't need a Coke to stay alive. Like, we need water.
Maybe Nigel, what do you think?
Oh, I do need a Coke because I have one every single day at 2 o'clock. And if I don't have a Coke at 2 o'clock, then I don't know it's 2 o'clock. So I need it because I have it every day. And also, I like it. So I will have it.
Nigel, you definitely don't need it. I think you need to take a break from it, actually. You definitely just want it. What you need is a lot of water, love.
It's true, actually. Yeah, we do need to stay hydrated. I'm not sure whether full-fat Coke every day at 2 o'clock is the best way of doing that. Okay, well, our last thing then. Our last thing is this wonderful curry. Oh, I love a curry. I absolutely think curry is one of the best things in the world. What do you think, Needy Nigel?
Oh, we definitely need that.
We do.
Like, there's lots of different foods. We need to have food, but I especially need curry because I love curry and it makes me happy, but I need food, you know?
Yeah. What do you think, Wanty Wendy?
Well, we do need food, but you know, a curry is a want rather than a need. What you need is fruits and vegetables, because that's what's good for you, you know.
Yeah, right, okay. Well, actually, Needy Nigel, I mean, fruits and vegetables, really? I guess, yeah, I suppose that's what the doctor would say. What do you think?
Well, I think we definitely need food. But also, actually, you make a good point because you said you had a curry. Now, my favourite curry house in Southport is called Kalash. Oh, it is so nice. And the thing about somewhere like that is that it's an independent curry place, which means that the people might need my business, you know, because they're not a massive corporation that has loads and loads of money necessarily. They need people like me to buy curries, and you know, I like it. So I think that's quite a good thing to do.
I like that, yeah. So there's some things that you might not need. However, the person that you might buy it from needs someone to buy it. So like whether it's a curry from an independent curry house, or whether it's, I don't know, a hot chocolate from an independent coffee shop, or whether it's some sweets from an independent sweet shop, or books from an independent bookstore, anything like that. Small local businesses are what keeps our town alive and our local economy. And so actually, yeah, for those people, it's really important that we buy their things and support their businesses in order for them to earn enough money to feed themselves and stay alive. So we might not need it, but actually some people do need it. Thanks for joining us on Chapel Street. Lovely to spend some time with you, Auntie Wendy, and also yourself, Needy Nigel. Back to our Safe Space studio. Keep watching if you want to find out what you can do when you just can't decide whether you need something or want something. What is our hack? What can you do? Keep watching. Well, that was something. Yeah. I tell you what, Hettie, though, it was so busy out there, like in town. So the shops kind of reopened again a little bit, like last week. And apparently people were queuing outside of Primark from like 7 a.m.
7.
Yeah, 7 a.m. I mean, maybe that was you. I don't know. But yeah, it was so busy in town.
Wow.
Because everyone was just suddenly like, "Oh, the shops are open! Quick, go, go!"
I wonder how much people really needed that stuff. Like, given
Fair
the conversation that we just had,
Yeah.
like how many people could have potentially got something for somebody else instead of them all going into town together. You know?
Yeah, thinking about other people instead of just our own wants and needs.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, you know, this whole wants and needs thing, instead of just getting confused over whether we need something or we want something, actually thinking about other people and what they need and what they want, that's possibly a bit more important, actually.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a guy a couple of thousand years ago called the Apostle Paul, and he's in the Bible quite a lot, and he was quite well known around that time in history. And he said some really cool stuff in a letter that he wrote to some of his friends in a place called Philippi. And he said in this letter, he was encouraging them about how joyful they were, how much joy they brought to him, how much when he heard about what they were up to, he was like, "Oh, you really cheer me up, that's really cool." And one of the things that he pointed out was how good they were at not thinking about their own interests, but instead also thinking about the interests of other people. Which is really cool.
That is cool.
And so actually that wisdom there is like, I think that's really important. Instead of us just getting all bogged down in, do we need this, do we want this, well, me. Instead he's like, actually, yeah, you might be interested in some things, but what about the interests of other people?
Yeah.
And what about the things that you do maybe in your average day? How could they less be about just doing them because you want to or you need to? How could they kind of incorporate other people and their interests and needs?
Yeah, like the other day when I was wanting to go for a walk and you were like, "Oh, actually I'd quite like to go for a walk too." So we went together. So instead of me just going out because I fancied it, I went with you and we had a nice walk together,
lovely,
went
yeah.
where you fancied going.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Or what about like when you're watching things on TV or streaming services or whatever? Like you watch quite a bit more than I do, and some of the stuff you watch, I really wouldn't enjoy.
Nah, not bothered.
Yeah, and so whenever I'm getting all like fidgety of an evening and I'm like, I'm bored, I really want to do something, because I get like that. Instead of you just being like, well, I'm watching this, you can join me if you want, you're like, actually, you think about what I would want to watch as well, and we think about how my interests and your interests might fit together, which is kind of important.
Or like if you were gaming, you could make sure that you ask someone if they want to collab with you, and you could play together if you were going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
you know, things like that.
Or shopping. Like instead of, because we've just looked at some shopping.
You know, mentioned shopping.
Like instead of being like, I'm going to go to the shops now because they're open and I need to get stuff. What about thinking, actually, I'm going to the shops. What could I get for someone else? Like, what do my neighbours do? They like shielding? And do they need something? Or people in my house? Like, or friends, or just a gift for someone. So, what our challenge to you this week is to have a think about not just your own needs and wants, but the needs and wants of those around you. Around. Why don't you, at the end of every day, have a little bit of a reflect on how much have I met my own needs and wants, and how much have I incorporated other people's needs and wants into my everyday activities?
Sounds good.
Brilliant, thanks for joining us. Do remember our rooted question from earlier on, and we'll talk about it next week. Anyone that wants a shout out in our videos, we're always up for that. Any ideas you've got, whatever. But do remember, if you haven't, subscribe, like, comment, and share our videos as widely as you possibly can to your Southporty friends. See you next time.
Bye!